Welcome. Scott here. Here is a quick boss guide for the upcoming raid event, Sword Dance of Lightning Marilith Tempest raid featuring the returning queen from Final Fantasy Type 0. The event synergy units Queen, Eiko, Gladio, Tifa, Leon, and Sazh. Queen's FR and Burst will be making their debut along with her FR Echo boards. Tifa will be the featured returning FRBT unit. We will be fighting 2 Marilith Tempest which has 300 million HP each. Both bosses do not have any major resistances. The turn requirement is 45. The HP requirements is 3000. Before I continue further, here is a small disclaimer clause for the video. The guide is written based on the time that the event was released for the Japanese version. Please do note that it is possible that the boss fight mechanics might differ when the actual event is released in global. Like most other Shinryu fights, the boss gains increased brave damage and gain resistances at start of the fight and 79% HP threshold. Bringing a support like Iris, Setzer, Rosa, Queen, Braska, Rem, Yuna, Pernello, Charlotta, Aerith, Ramza, Selpha that grants damage boosting aura will make your fight easier. As the boss gains substantial boost to their defenses with the auras, it is important to inflict debuffs that lower their defenses. On the screen, I have listed down the examples of the key utility that you can consider for this fight. To cancel boss force time, which will result your party's new buff and debuffs application to be limited a duration of 1, you need to use a melee. If you have been playing the game for a while, you should probably amass quite a substantive amount of melee FR. Examples of melee FR that you can consider to use are Queen, Tifa, Jill Nabate, Reno, Rex, Karasame, Weiss, or Squall. You can use a Dark Elemental FR to cancel the force time which includes Shantato, Dark Knight Cecil, Sazh, and the upcoming Galbes. Do note Dark Enchant FR like Enacross will not work to cancel the force time. Throughout the entire fight, you will be operating at 10% of your max HP due to the boss force gauge properties, which means the boss could easily kill you with its Ballet Omega. The boss has a standard rotation where it will use Ballet Omega and followed by Flash of Steel. With the boss featuring limited mechanics and a small HP pool by today's standards, the fight is easy. Despite it being a raid event, the fight will be added to future Crystal Quest events which will make your job to get those crystal passives easier. The fight does not have any troublesome mechanics. In fact, if you ever roll this event fight for your Crystal Quest, you should have be happy that you got it. This event is one of the easier fights that you will come across. The fight can be cheesed with the infamous Ult Quina or Idaroth combo as long as you can prevent the Marilith Tempest from breaking your party. As we are no longer have Lufania Plus fights, the boss guide will be focused primarily on Shinryu fights. In Shinryu, you need to understand the effects gained by the boss as the force gauge build up, its force ability and its force time effect. As your party has low force levels, it is highly certain that the boss force gauge will build up faster than yours. To have a better understanding on the basics of the force gauge mechanics and Shinryu fights, I have done a video explaining the mechanics. I have included the link to the video under the comments and video description for your quick reference. Throughout the fight, the boss will also gain 4% charge rate up when your party members act. The boss will also apply a max HP down aura that lowers your party HP to 10% of their max HP. The boss force gauge will build up faster as its HP is lowered. You can refer to the table on the screen for the percentages. At the 100% threshold, the boss will use its force ability, Flash of Steel++, which is a guaranteed hit ranged AoE Brave plus HP attack. Upon using the force ability, the boss will enter into its force time where the gauge will start to emit a red hue with a counter of 10 on its gauge. When the force time is activated, the bosses will gain an enhancement that will applies an aura that results new buff or debuffs applied to have a maximum duration of 1. Here is a quick example to explain how the force time impact you. If you have an existing buff with 5 turns, reapplying that buff during the force time, you will get 4 turn of your buff unless you use an ability that extend buff duration. The system will usually give priority of the buffs or debuffs that have a longer duration. If you apply a buff that is not applied yet, you will get the buff but at a buff duration of 1. The same concept also applies to the debuffs. In short, it is your best interest to cancel the force time, or quickly let the boss run out its force time before your buff duration ends. If you bring a force charger, you can easily ramp up your force time and kill the boss before they could do anything. To deal the boss force weakness, you need to use a melee force ability or a dark elemental non-enchant type FR. If you have been playing the game for a while, this shouldn't be too difficult to have options to cancel it. Now, let us go through the fight key mechanics. Generally, the fight does not have a lot of mechanics to take note of. As mentioned earlier, throughout the fight, you will be doing the battle at 10% of max HP, which means your party HP will be below 10,000 or mid 5,000 at most. A single boss HP attack could easily result a unit KO. The boss has a standard attack rotation of Omega Ballet and Flash of Steel. The variant of Omega Ballet used will be depending on the boss' current initial brave. If its current brave is lower than its initial brave, it will use Omega Ballet Plus, which is a single target 12 melee brave plus HP attack. The boss will regain brave that equates to 150% of its initial brave after the attack. If its current brave is equal or higher to its initial brave, it will use Omega Ballet, which is reset break status, a single target 11 melee brave plus HP attack. The boss will regain brave that equates to 150% of its initial brave after the attack. The other attack, Flash of Steel, is just an AoE ranged brave attack. If its brave is 110% of its initial brave or not broken, it will use Crossblade, which is a single HP attack. Like the Omega Ballet variants, the attack will restore 150% of the boss initial brave after that attack. There are a lot of means to handle this fight. You can either do the standard rush down team comp of launch, delay, and follow up, or the hit and counter strategies. The fight is easy that you can solo with certain units like Ruby Conte, Beatrix, Orin, or evasion tanks units like Kelger or Cater. Even non-FR Echo units like Celis can solo this fight if you have gotten the crystal passives. With the boss mechanics explained, let us proceed to the unit FR Burst Kit review. Before I end the guide, let us cover a bit on the featured FRBT unit, Queen. If you have not gotten any of her banner mates, Gladio or Eiko, I will strongly recommend you to get them. Those two banner mates offer a lot of value whether they are in the party or used as LDCA. Gladio LDCA is one of the game's most important LDCA when you attempting solo runs. Unless there is a special campaign, it will not be back until Gladio returns when Odin Spiritus debut. Queen can extend her own buffs and 3 of the units in the game that offers party-wide last stand. Upon activation via her EX, she can go into her Reisetsu arousal where she will be immortal for 3 turns and her commands will be limited to her Reisetsu state brave and HP commands. She also offers one of the game's best attacking aura. Her FR is an AoE melee brave plus HP attack executed 4 times. During the force time, if you use a changed brave or melee attack command, the following auras of 50% max brave cap and 50% HP damage up will be activated. Let me talk briefly about her FR conditions. To make full use of Queen's force time, there is a lot of emphasis on the team comp that you are pairing with her. Her FR has the following conditions. You will get 40% HP damage bonus for using a melee ability. You will get another 60% HP damage bonus for a changed brave or HP command. Examples of units that could meet both conditions are Queen herself, Orin, Ursula, Reno, Machina and Pernello. If you meet both conditions, it will give the party an 100% HP damage bonus per turn. To abuse the condition, you can either use FR Echoes to ramp up while having Queen goes into her burst phase to abuse the condition, or letting Queen to use her burst phase to ramp up the force time. Magic units that use changed Brave or HP commands like Rinoa, Yuna, Aerith, or Charlotte can also benefit from this. Let me cover a bit on her BT aura. The BT aura lasts 8 turns. Upon using her BT finisher, Queen will go into Reisetsu arousal for 3 turns. While in that state, her EX recast speed will gain 50% charge rate up. The BT aura will also give Queen 80% charge rate up as well. In short, as long as you have her BT aura active, you can just use her EX and have her go back to her Reisetsu arousal state again. Like most BT, Queen BT gives the following aura upon activation. It will raise both Brave damage and max Brave cap by 30%, HP damage by 20%, Brave gains by 20% and Brave damage cap by 50%. If you use any of the following abilities while her BT aura is active, changed Brave command, changed HP, or EX ability, they will gain additional auras. Brave gains plus 10%, HP damage by 30%, Brave damage cap by 30% and max Brave by 50%. If you are using a unit that relies heavily on their EX for maximum damage, example Lightning, Squall, Jill Nabate, or Enacross, or uses changed HP commands, example Rinoa, Machina, Reno, this BT aura is very beneficial for them. If you have not cleared Brothers Spiritus and its ticket mission, Queen can solo the Spiritus with her maxed kit with maxed Ultima weapon for all requirements. She can also solo some of the Dimensions and Transcendence tiers as well. If you are tackling the Crystal Quest missions for White Crystal, she will be a valuable addition to your roster. With this, I have come to the end of my boss guide presentation. Hopefully you find it useful. If you like the video, please give a like. Please subscribe to my channel for future gaming content. Good luck for the fight in the coming day. Bye.